Previously on Funny Science Fiction.
And I was just like, yeah, no big deal. And so, like, this conversation you have with people, oh, what did you do today? Oh, I just got hung from the ceiling.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Roberts, and welcome to Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
The podcast that would like to remind you that Soylent Green does not taste great, it's not less filling, and that it's most definitely made of people. That's right, Soylent Green is people. Remember that, folks. All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guys and germs. Our guest today is an actor who's been in many of the movies and television shows that you have watched, enjoyed, and even loved over the years in various forms of pop culture. You may know him best for his roles in Star Trek, The Mask, CSI, National Lampoons Christmas Vacation. I could literally keep going on and on and on. Jeremy Roberts has a very extensive list of things that he's been in. So, hey, let's welcome Jeremy Roberts to the show. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hello. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. So, typically we're a science fiction show, and we like to be funny and silly and talk about sci-fi. But the first thing I need to talk to you about, because it's completely non-sci-fi related, and you were in one of my all-time favorite movies, National Lampoons Christmas Vacation. I could watch that any time of the year. It's not, in my opinion, yes, I know it's a Christmas movie, but it's not a Christmas movie as far as I'm concerned.
It's a Tuesday movie.
It's a Tuesday movie, a Wednesday movie, a Thursday movie. I can watch it any day of the week. Now, in that movie, you're one of the SWAT officers who invades the Griswold home towards the end of the movie. And now, I have an absolute ton of questions about Chevy Chase, but that's another topic for another time, and we can address those later. However, I am wondering if you could talk about your time on set, and if you have any funny stories or bloopers from that time that you're able or willing to share, because, well, we just love stories.
No, just kidding. So you get up.
All right, next question.
Person goes, no, I got nothing. No, let's see. Well, it was amazing because it was the first movie, and I couldn't believe that I was going to be in a National Lampoon, and not only that, a Christmas movie, which meant it was going to be on forever, unless it stunk, and even then it would probably air forever, and it has. It's magnificent. I do remember when I first started in acting, I didn't know if I was going to get any jobs. You never know. So I thought if I ever get one, I'll go out to one of these Hollywood shops and pick 8x10 of that person who's in the show. And I'll have them sign it so that, if I only get one job in my career, I will at least have that photo, like some of these up here. I'll say, yes, I did. I was an actor once. And I went to a shop and I got, oh my gosh, her name, Chevy Chase's wife.
Oh, Beverly D'Angelo.
Coming up. Beverly D'Angelo. Oh, God, she was so. Anyway, I happened to pick one where she was in a pool with nothing on, like from sheer down. You didn't see it, but you knew. And I brought it to her after the first day, and she got all livid in my face about, where did you get this? What? How do you have this kind of photo of me? And I'm like, I got it at a cinema shop. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, I'm never going to work again. But she signed it, so that was nice. That was not a good start. I had a problem during it when all the group of us, all the SWAT team had come into the place. All of a sudden, there's one of the extras. He was a stunt man. I don't know what he had with. I don't know what he was, but he during the shot, he kept popping my head, and I can't, break character and slug him. So after every take, I'm trying to turn around and talk to who the heck. He kept doing it. Till finally, we ended up outside at the end with a group around it, and he's coming at me. He's like 5'5". I don't know how he was a stuntman, but anyway, it doesn't matter. He was going to fight. I'm going, this is my first movie, and I'm going to be in a fisticuffs with a stuntman. I ended up diffusing the whole situation and making jokes and laughing about it because I just didn't want to, pound a smaller person. I'm not that kind of person, but he kept doing this to him. Like, what are you doing? What was the point of this? You're interrupting a multi-million-dollar movie with, anyway. That was one of the 2 instances that I remember. There is a Chevy Chase thing but I got to be friends, oddly enough, with Chevy Chase because I'd heard, he's hard to work with, but somehow we were talking, and he ends up being a fan of that golf game you play, Xbox or whatever it was back then. Mm-hmm. And he invited me into his trailer, and I'm going, oh my God, Saturday Night Live! I can't believe I'm in here playing a little golf game with the star. This is just a dream, Oh, he's making it easy on me. I'm laughing, and I'm going, gosh, I'm making the funniest guy I've ever, in Saturday Night Live. I'm making him laugh. This is incredible. And I said, the part I started, I don't know what made me think this, but when I come in, the line, when I burst in with my SWAT team, the line is freeze, and then everybody there freeze, except us. But, his family was it. That's the line, freeze. And I said, you know, funny, I was just joking. I didn't think it, If when I run in and I yell freeze, all the SWAT team members that are coming down the banisters and everything, they all, freeze. And then I yell, not you, them. And he laughs and he goes, that's good. And that's about all I thought of it. Then we finish the lunch and go outside. And we're going to be shooting this. And he decides to tell Jeremiah Chechik was the director. Decided to tell him my idea. And I went, oh, I'm never going to work again. He says, what is it? We showed him. He said, yeah, okay, but I don't think it's funny. And Chevy goes, no, it's funny. It's funny, and it's in. And I went, I won't ever work for this director again. Because he turned and this was your idea. Good, okay. And I put it in. I couldn't believe it. I added a line or so. But I never did work for him again. I don't know if that was the reason. It was nice of him to let me give an idea. You don't normally come into a show and start rewriting. Who was it? No. Somebody big wrote that too. A famous writer of the 80s. I can't remember. Anyway.
I'd have to look that up. I don't remember right off the top of my head.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
He did all those 80s favorites, like Breakfast Club and Christopher Columbus. Or did he?
I want to say it was Columbus, but I'm not sure.
Discover America. I don't remember.
John Hughes.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Hughes. No, that's it. It was a Hughes.
Yeah, John Hughes wrote the screenplay.
Planes, Trains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look it up.
I also got to change a line of Neil Simon. That's something else. There's nothing Star Trek related. I did a Marrying Man with Armand Asante, and I made a suggestion there about a line, and it got in. They brought in Neil Simon from his bungalow. I couldn't believe it. Neil Simon came in, and the director says he's got an idea for it, and they said, do it. I did it. The line was accepted, and Neil Simon, it's better. And he walked away, and I went, oh, God, I wrote Neil Simon. Now I'm a writer. I could put actor, father, writer.
Hey, those are some big titles.
They like me. They really, really like me.
Yeah.
So looking through your IMDb, you've got over 200 co-star and guest roles over the span of your career. And some of your shows are some of my favorite shows. I love Diagnosis Murder, Doogie Howser, Crossing Jordan, and there's so many more. But
Doogie.
Yes, Doogie Howser. I love that show. But like Tim had said, being a sci-fi show, we're definitely more interested in your work in like the Star Trek universe. We had the pleasure earlier this year of interviewing Robin Curtis, who was Lieutenant Saavik in Star Trek 3 and 4. And she shared some of her experiences working with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. And you were in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, with both of those men. So how was your experience working with them? And most importantly, did you find the line in Shatner's toupee?
No, I wouldn't even have looked. I mean, even if I did. What's that? I didn't get to work with either one of them.
Oh,
Obviously, in Star Trek 6, they're just they're the story. We were not, so I didn't get to have any conversations. And the only thing it was the first day they came on the set. We were on the set shooting our scenes, and all of a sudden they put a stop, and everybody stops, the crew, and in walks. It's almost like out of that. The doors open and the sun shines through, and oh, Jesus lights from the clouds as they walk through this mist. It's Kirk and Nimoy in their full garb, and they've been there this day because they have to go in on the set, and they take shots of you in your wardrobe, see if everything's correct, if it looks right with the camera. So you go on and you do this, and they walk on. And it's silence. It's like a cardinal from somebody religious walked in. Even the crew, they're hanging from the rafters, setting lights. I'm looking around and I can see them all like they'd never seen him before. Or it was just, I get chills. Oh, there it is. Of that feeling we got when I saw them. But I remember back when I was a kid. I was a kid when that started. I think a couple of weeks from being 12. And I'm a huge sci-fi freak. Heinlein, I've read it, or Lord of the Rings. I was just nuts for that stuff. So I watched that series. That was my favorite thing, the original. And then here they come walking in. I couldn't speak. Nobody could. It's weird. It's just because of what that Star Trek had done over the last 30 years. It's what it's become and what it's still going to be, continually be. But none of it mattered that, he was a terrible actor that people thought, or you just didn't see it. I became 12 again, and I was just, that's Captain Kirk. And that's his science officer, like I'm Sulu's. That was great. I said, no, that just means great things. I mean, what can I be? But I'm on my own show one day. But what ended up happening is I realized out of 100 or 200 you mentioned roles, everybody that ever worked with me has become famous. Huh? I'm just saying. I don't know.
You are the famous
that's possible. But that's right. If I come near you, you'll make it.
So maybe that'll work for our show too.
Meet mine.
This is what we needed for our show then too. We needed your fame whisperer to bring fame to us too.
I'll put my hand up on you, boy. I don't know. Well, actually, I wouldn't I? Place my hand on you. Now that is the correct way, right? Or is that the way? Live long and prosper.
Maybe it is thumb in.
I was chastised for doing it wrong.
I
think I did it this way once because I explained to them I needed this thumb to help these two stay apart. Oh, here it goes.
You're asking a Star Wars.
I don't know how that was a painful thing. Yeah, it was their entrance. It was the only thing. There was a period earlier where I was at a friend's house, and it was a ranch area, and we were looking down the mountain at the end of their property, and he was showing me this mountain, and get down to these horses in this corral. And he's, and that's Shatner. William Shatner lives right down there. And of course, I'm like, trying to see him. Is he down there? Never realizing if I was going to be meeting him one day. But all we did was meet him. How do you do? And then you stumble over your words. And it's weird. It was a weird thing you'd figure you do when you see De Niro or meet Robert Duvall or some great actor. Sure. That's weird. That made me a nerd.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. I mean, yeah, like I said, he's an icon in Hollywood. How could you not?
Yeah. I mean, what he did at Boston, was that series?
Boston Legal.
He was a lawyer. Yeah. We never really got into it. I saw a couple of them, and he was really good. Well, great. Let's get rid of that. He stank. in Star Trek is great.
Boston Legal is one of my husband's favorites.
So you've been a steady working actor, according to IMDb, since 1987. You started off with a show called Hooperman, and you were a robber in that show. So were you fresh to the industry, like fresh off the apple cart with that, or did you have some like a resume of commercials and like community plays, Broadway style things or things along those lines before that?
Not just theater.
Some theater?
I had,
okay.
Went to the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. They audition thousands all over the country, and they take 40, and then they cut that in half the second year and only take 20. And third year, 4 of us got the company. And then from there, I went on to theater around the country. Shakespeare, my goal was to end up being in every Shakespeare, but that didn't happen. Had about half of them or more, and Annette Bening and I were the graduating class, and 2 other.
Oh, wow.
Harold, a friend of mine, but Annette was there with us. I had a huge crush on Annette Bening. We had done the Seagull together, Chekhov play, and anyway, I'd done a lot of theater, and then I paid my SAG dues, which at the time were $200. I think they're $2,800 now. $2,800 to join SAG. Amazing. So I SAG, and then I said, well, let's go to Hollywood if they care. And I got an agent right off the bat. Was shocked. And within a week or so, they had me reading. The rest is history.
There you go. Okay.
I did enjoy robbing John Ritter. He was a wonderful man, very nice man. So it was very giving in it because I was scared out of my mind. Please let me not stink. Let me just be a good actor. That's why I can't really watch myself. Every time I see myself, I go, oh man, gosh, did you learn nothing? You stink. So I realized I don't have a good objective opinion. Figure if they're going to keep hiring me, then got to have something. But it was the first, and then it just...
Yeah, I can appreciate that because I have a hard time listening to myself.
No, that also when I was younger. I said, you record it when you're a kid. You got a little tape recorder. I sound... who'd listen to that guy? And when I was a kid, I couldn't walk into a room if there were any more than 3 or 4 people at a party without having to get out because I was deadly shy. I mean, this here is just happening because of 30 years of being on stage or, TV.
Fair enough.
Normally I couldn't speak. And if there's a girl like Kathleen, couldn't even speak with her. But I got over that. I like to
say I have that effect on people anyway.
You have a good voice.
Thank you. Oh, goodness.
You do too, Tim.
Well, thank you kindly. Appreciate that.
I was thinking of doing that, but it's a hard thing to get into. It's hard to get into voiceovers. It's such a click kind of place. They don't let too many people into it. But I'd love to be doing animated voices.
Yeah, I think you'd have a good voice for it. I think you'd be easy to listen to.
Do audiobooks. Audiobooks would be fun.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that might be fun. Especially if you can
I've been out of it for 10, 12 years now. So.
Yeah, but if you could go back and read some of the, maybe, try and get into reading some of the old sci-fi classics that you read years ago, that might be kind of fun. Go back and add voices to, characters in Lord of the Rings. How cool would that be?
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Funny. I was in New Zealand shooting Hercules at the time. Hercules and Xena, those series. I did a couple of those and I was shooting, and my agent hadn't been able to get me an audition to Lord of the Rings when it was first to Peter Jackson down in Wellington in New Zealand. I don't know how. I have my wife, she starts getting on the phone. She's a phone kind of person. She's got the voice. And next thing you know, I'm getting a call in Auckland. She said, I got it. I got through. to the assistant at blah, 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 Jackson's. I said that you were shooting Hercules up in Auckland, and they said they'll fly me down right away. They flew me down when I had a moment, and I got to audition for Philip Jackson. But the problem was I ended up reading for Aragorn Vito Morgensen's, the lead. You know, the most handsome guy in the world at the time, his hair, and I went, stop. Something. I'm not going to beat this guy out. He's just not going to. I didn't get into it, darn it. My wife, she became my manager from then on.
Well, yeah.
So.
Yeah, if she can get you, even the fact that she got you in for an audition is amazing. So. But I think you could have pulled off a Gimli pretty well.
I tell her now, I said, since I've been out. Oh, yeah. That was the guys, how they did all that. No. When you can make people look, they're 6 foot tall. It was amazing.
Yeah.
CGI, incredible.
Mm-hmm. So we've talked a little bit.
That was a bummer story. I didn't get in.
It's okay. You got to audition. And
still a cool story.
Who else gets to say, I lost a role to Viggo Mortensen?
Right?
That's a pretty cool story.
There might have been others that lost it too, but
well, maybe, but your story's cooler.
My wife is always saying stuff. I don't understand what was your agent thinking? You know, once they got me into it as a bad guy, my agent was known for, if you need a guest star, go to this agency, the Gage Group. They have everyone who's anyone. I was like, oh, great, then I'm in the right place. But once they saw that I was a bad guy, that's where I went. And and I didn't care because I was getting work. As long as I kept getting a job every month or two, I said, why do I have to promote myself? For what? To be a star? I had no interest in being a star. I wanted to be Ward Bond. I mean, I'm probably aging myself, but Ward Bond was in all of John Wayne's films. Every character actor played the horror films, Lon Chaney Jr. and all these. I didn't need anyone to be, unable. I went to a cast party once for Pink Cadillac, Clint Eastwood, and he wasn't there. And they explained to me that he decided he just can't go to any of these parties anymore because wherever they have them, the world comes in and just inundates and they take over because Clint Eastwood, and then he couldn't help it, so he couldn't show up, which was unfortunate. I wanted to meet him, but I don't know what to have to do with. See, I get off. It's just because I'm 67 now. I think
it's okay. We like tangents. Tangents are good.
Tangents are fun. So we've already talked about your work on Star Trek VI a little bit, but you also made guest appearances on Deep Space Nine and on Voyager. So, as you've already said that you were a Star Trek fan, do you have a favorite experience from being on one of those sets, other than obviously watching Kirk and Spock walk in is like the highlight? But is there a close second?
I mean, wouldn't it be some sort of a skit in SNL where the entire crew it was amazing. Yeah, I would not, that one beats all. The silence and the reverence for just an actor or two. But I did have one on Space Nine that was not quite. It was just funny.
We like funny.
Everyone else. We were shooting. Well, funny to everyone. I didn't. I saw the humor in it later, but it wasn't at the time. It was at 90 degrees in Hollywood, and we'd shot a day, and people weren't passing out, but they could tell with that makeup you're having to wear, it's going to have a problem. Someone might. And I came in ill the second or third day, and we'd shot some things. And I had to explain to them, I think I've got the flu or something, because every moment I feel like I'm going to hurl. And so they had attached a zipper up the back of my head so that if it ever got so bad that I had to, because there's not a lot of exit space on on these costumes when you have it over your head. And inevitably, I felt that moment during the shot. And I told them quickly. They ran over, they unzipped it, and they took it off, and I hurled off the stage. Pleasant. Good stuff to tell fans. And they said, we just can't put you back in it. We can't put you back in that. We can't. The insurance alone wouldn't allow us to keep put back in it. So the guy who's sitting next to me for 5 hours every day putting this makeup on because he's a stand-in, they gave him the part, the rest of it, or they figured out something. He got his SAG card, so I've never gotten a thank you for that. And being in the show, he became famous because he got to get into the show. He got to actually act. But I've watched it a number of times lately because I don't remember when it first came out because I obviously didn't watch. But then I guess I could watch because I have that makeup on. I always look better with makeup, especially with horns and whatever. But I looked at it and I can't seem to figure out where I am in it. I mean, there's one place where a Jem'Hadar is shot by a device one of them is carrying, and he says when he walks by a table, one of them says, "What's this?" And I go, "I think that's me." I can hear my voice because everybody, all the Jem'Hadars were doing something like this. They were talking like this is how they have to be, like bad guys a lot of the time. I think it's because they don't really know what they're doing when they talk like this. Bad guys, because they're whispering. You're just whispering because you don't really know what you're saying. But they did this gravelly, and it didn't come out when I said it. Or I think that was me. What's this? It sounded like me. And then the next thing you know, it fires and it shoots a guy in the ground. And he gives a speech about, this is our role to die for whatever the call. I went, wait a minute, that I think is my lines. Maybe he got that. Again, I looked at him and you could see the skin underneath and around his eye. He was a black guy, African American. So I knew that was him. But to this day, I still can't figure out. I mean, I know I'm not the lead who does all the talking, but I'm not sure where they put me in it. Although I'm right up there in the front when you see the credits, I'm like you're expecting to see me, but I don't think you can ever tell. So, but it was an experience. But then it ended good because he got to have a line. He got to become an actor, and I didn't have to go through 5 hours of makeup every day anymore.
There you go.
I didn't like being sick, but it becomes a fun story when you're doing a podcast 30 years later. Hey, this happens to be the 25th and the 30th anniversary of them, isn't it? Yeah. 25 years for Voyager and 30 for Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yeah. So one of the things I like to ask our guests, Jeremy, especially guys who are working actors who are kind of like chameleons, you know, guys like you who can fit into a variety of different roles, and they take on all these different challenging roles, whether it's in makeup or out of makeup. So out of all the roles that you've done, which role did you find to be the most challenging? Was it a physical toll, a mental toll, emotional toll? Which one really took a lot out of you?
Well, with these parts I have, I hate it's no, okay, what's the saying? There's no small parts, only small actors. Mm-hmm. It's like there are no small parts, only small publicity agents. Really, they were minor guest stars. You know, I like to think of them as a guest star that's the lead. I'm kind of a little smaller. Like a friend of mine, his name is Richard Reilly. You may not know him, but he's done over 350 guest stars.
Oh, wow.
The guy is in everything. Everything. And it's, I think, well, now that's a star. That's somebody that, this is not big enough for me that it's going to affect me. Like I had friends that did The Accused, I think it was a Jodie Foster, about a rape scene in a bar. They had to go through psychological, they went to psychiatrists because it was making them like post-traumatic stress because they had to do this horrible movie. She laughed after every scene, but they had problems for a while. And that's that kind of, I didn't ever have anything in any role that was so demanding that I had to maintain like a bad guy for that time. You're sitting in your trailer. Like some actors, they're constantly that bad guy while they wait. They don't become the actor they are. They stay that guy. I can't do that because it's not really, it's television too. Sure. You know, you get 8 days to do an hour long. You come on the set and I was shy. People don't talk to you. And then when they see you sitting in a chair later on, when you become friends at the 8th day, they'll say, well, we didn't talk to you because we thought you were getting into your part because you're so quiet. I thought you were getting into that serial killer. And I would just talk to me, please.
No, I'm just quiet.
And at the end, you become friends with everybody. You become friends. And then you leave, go to another set. But after 20 years, then you start knowing the cast, the crew from other shows. That's when it's a great time. But if I had to pick one, I'd pick probably Millennium. I did a serial killer, a Silence of the Lamb kind of guy.
Okay.
In Millennium with Lance Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself getting into it because he had to be vile, and I ended up breaking my right toe. I have a freak out scene in the middle of this cage in this warehouse. They have me just freaking kicking, and I ended up breaking my toe, 2 of them on my right foot, the large toe, and I didn't get it fixed. So your foot, it ended up going like this, my toes. You know, so I have 2 feet, one like this and one that bends in. And I have and it's hard to get shoes anyway because I have a 17-inch foot. I can never buy shoes. It's just irritating. Yeah. So, anyway, it's off. But I'm going on. Oh, here's a little thing offshoot from it. Before I went, I was living in Studio City, in a place on Fawndale. It was a lovely little cottage in the back, and a lady that was renting it, whose name is Winnie. This all has something to do with the story. Anyway, I tell her I got this show. I'm going to go up to Canada, and I'm going to be with Lance Hendrickson. I'm shooting Millennium. And she goes, oh, Lance, you know the place you're renting? He lived there, she said, 6-8 years ago. I went, really? Yeah, Lance Hendrickson. He's on this show. I went, yeah, I'm going to go see him. She says, well, say hi. I go, oh, okay. So I get up to Canada, and they take me onto the set, and they during a break, they take me over to the director, and people are standing around looking. They introduce me to Lance, and we shake hands, and I take his hand, and I kind of look. I say Farmdale, it's in a Studio City apartment, and he like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, oh, it's just something I have. I can shake hands with somebody or I touch them, and I get images, and that's what I get from you. An apartment in Studio City, Winnie Cooper. He goes, that was my landlady in Studio City. He turns over, he goes, we got a psychic that's a serial killer. Or no, a serial killer that's a psychic. And everybody's there, and he goes, do it to the director. Oh, no. Okay, so I take the director's hand, and I shake it, and I say, I see a series. Jeremy Roberts is in it. You're doing a series with Jeremy. And I laugh, and I have to explain. Okay, it's not true. I just made it up. I knew I lived in the same place Lance did. His landlady told me all this, and great sense of humor. Laugh. He was very friendly. He was a wonderful guy. But it was good that it worked well, because then all of a sudden I had an in, and everybody knew me, and it made that 10 days up there great. But yeah, I have a habit of doing stuff like that, it seems. Man, it hasn't worked out
bad. It's funny, though.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Oh, it was great at the time.
It's funny. I love it.
So I could for about 10 minutes.
That's a healthy little prank, though. That's fun to do. That's just good times. Sounds like something I would do.
Then,
I think
but
that's why
then I
I
had to be
appreciate it.
this. Okay. But yeah, I had to get into it, but I still turned it off when I went to the trailer. It was just too debilitating to just be in the mind of some. I can't understand serial killers and people that kill anyway. My wife is a big Discovery Channel watcher. She watches all the murder shows, people that kill, and teenagers that kill their parents. Of course, we're like, oh no, are we next? So I'm always wondering what's in their mind. Why would you ever kill anyone? What is there, a thrill? So it just didn't work for me to continually be that way. It made my stomach hurt.
Oh,
so I ate during my breaks. I'm a huge foodie.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Food is our friend.
No.
I agree.
Especially cheeseburgers.
So, Jeremy. Oh, cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers are the best.
Chocolate malts. Fries. Cheeseburger fries and chocolate malts.
I like this guy.
I do too. I really want a cheeseburger, fries, and chocolate milk. Oh, man. I know what I'm having.
Call out. Uber.
That's right.
All right. So, Jeremy, we've really enjoyed talking to you, but I have one final question. I know that everybody has that one show or movie that you know is terribly written or terribly acted or whatever, but you love it anyway. So a lot of cult classics like Rocky Horror Picture Show are definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but have this huge following. So with that being said, what is your favorite cult classic?
You mentioned Rocky, which I have to say is one of them, oddly enough.
Of course.
They used to put it on at a theater called the Sunset Theater on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. That show, everybody would dress up. So, yeah, it's one of the greatest.
It is. I love Rocky Horror. My husband watched it with me once and rolled his eyes through the whole thing and has vowed to never watch it again.
Oh, and Tim Curry was brilliant. Brilliant.
I know.
Brilliant. He's gone. Yeah. I'm surprised that maybe there just aren't any. Maybe I think everything is good. Or okay, don't tell anyone, but Love Actually.
Ooh.
Well, Love Actually is a great show.
Let me hear it.
I love Love Actually.
That's a great show. My wife and I watch that often.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
We love it, actually. That's what we did there.
It's probably one of the biggest manipulated shows in the world. They can make you feel every minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm chilling, I'm crying, I'm laughing through the whole thing. Every year I see it, and it's still, I'm a sucker. It's like, am I ever going to get tired of hearing that song or that line or that? Some people hate it, and how could you? I can't come up with any others. Name a couple of bad ones. Maybe I can refresh. You give me some. Yeah.
See,
Dune.
Tough question.
Dune is a terrible movie.
Dune. I wish they have it. Isn't there a new?
There is a new version coming out that's supposed to be better.
Supposed to be better, but I'll reserve judgment until.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna try it, and I might only be trying it because of Jason Momoa, but I'm gonna try it.
Talking about good-looking leading men, there you go.
Oh, good-looking guys with abs. Yeah, I used to have a six-pack.
I think I still have one in the fridge.
So it's gone.
Exactly.
I was just gonna make that joke too, Tim. I have a six-pack in the fridge, but that's as close as it gets.
Well, hey, Jeremy, we're at a point in our show where we like to play a little quiz with our guests.
I can't stand Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Well, I just got tired of him. He just likes violence. That's all he is, the violence actor, director. And I guess maybe there's something in me because I read 4 times for that part of the Mr. Pink or Mr. White. Michael Madsen got it. He's the guy who cuts off his ear while he's singing "Stuck in the Middle with You." Mm-hmm. And then the last time I auditioned for him for that was Michael and me, the only two you had to pick. And he picked the one the actor whisperer picked. Michael Madsen got it. Again, it's because I was there.
All right.
But I don't care for them that much, so I guess it's not a
Maybe not a big
guilty
loss for
pleasure.
you.
I
then.
don't watch them.
There you go.
Yeah. He made a mistake, that's all.
All right, Jeremy.
Sorry, Michael.
We're at a point in our show where we like to ask and run a little bit of a quiz with our guests. Okay, so it's a 5-question quiz. Each of the questions are multiple choice, and this quiz is all about Jeremy Roberts. Do you know your roles? Okay. So it's nothing deep dive or anything like that. But if out of the 5 questions, if you get 3 of them right, we'd like to send you this I gave to the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund. This coffee mug, okay? And
is that real?
That is real.
Is that real?
That's real. I gave to the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund. But we'll definitely send you that.
Oh, man.
The Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund is our parody charity that does actually donate to the Wish Upon a Teen Foundation, which is a real charity that they decorate hospital rooms for kids who have extended hospital stays. So we that logo and design has a tie-in with them, and we've been able to donate money to them when people purchase that gear and t-shirts and coffee mugs and hoodies and things like that. And we've auctioned off a couple of autographed photos from other guests. We've auctioned those off and donated the proceeds from those to Wish Upon a Teen as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's very
so nice. So if you get 3 of the questions right, we're going to send you that mug. Okay. If you get 4 of the questions right, we're going to send you that mug along with this book called Custodians of the Cosmos, written by our group founder Drayton Allen. The book is all about a young man who wanted to join Starfleet, but wasn't any good at it, so he washed out and rejoined as a custodian, so he could boldly clean up after those who boldly just went.
All right.
So but now those are the good things. If you get 3 and 4 questions right, if you get less than 3 questions right, if you only get 2, then what we want to do is take a picture of you, make a meme out of you, and put you in our Facebook group. We call it a fun sequence.
It's a win situation.
Yeah. Are you okay with that?
Either way.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Kathleen.
Except for the humiliation when I don't get any right.
Well, if you completely fail, we will take the quiz out of the show and pretend it never happened.
But if you do get a meme made out of you, you're in very good company. Robin Curtis has one from Star Trek 3 and 4. Dan Povenmire, the co-creator of Phineas and Ferb and Milo Murphy's Law, has one, and a couple other people as well. So you will not be alone.
We have
I had a friend. A fan sent me a 3D pop figure of Demetri Valtane.
Yeah,
I guess they're called pop.
Yeah,
with a head that's all similar, round head, and
that's what's all.
Is that what it is? All those?
Yeah, that's what's all over.
That is what all of those are Funko Pops. He has a problem.
Oh, I put it in our case in there. Also, there's a. Oh, you see it. Well, a gentleman made this for me.
Oh, how cool is that?
Oh, cool.
It's a plaque. U.S. Excelsior Starfleet Registry, Francisco Fleet Yards, and it says at the bottom, God, my eyes are bad.
Wow, he put that right on the plaque.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Nice. Very well done.
For the Excelsior. I know if you're on a time thing, but this was given to me.
Oh, how cool is that?
By Frank Gorshin.
Yeah.
Let this be your last battlefield. That was the episode he did on Star Trek, the original series. The one with the black and white face.
Yeah.
He played Bell or Bell.
That is really cool.
He ended up later in life, he died 10, 12 years ago, but he ended up meeting my mother, my wife's mother, and She's actually was an actress in Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, famous 60s movie. She started dating this guy. She said his name is Frank Gorshin, and I freaked out because he was my childhood idol. I loved him in The Riddler, and my parents let me stay up at night to watch Johnny, see his impressions of Kirk Douglas, Johnny Carson. He was an impressionist, amazing, but he was the Riddler, and being on the Star Trek thing. And then she ends up dating him, and within a year, he's in our porch having drinks with me, whiskey. I'm having whiskey with the Riddler, and he's planning his wedding. And I'm saying, the Riddler's going to be my father-in-law. Oh! And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was in Star Trek. Yeah. I was going to have the Riddler as the father. Oh, my God. My life couldn't be any more chilly. Every time I think of these things, he said, these little things that happen. I went, you didn't become a star, but this well, okay, he was already famous. But anyway, okay, back to the questions.
Well, no, now Tim has a phone.
I got to show you this since you mentioned the Riddler. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's my Funko Pop from the original Batman series Riddler.
Oh, God, he would have been having those. I knew he would have had them. If he had He had a 5-pack a day habit. That killed him.
Oh, man.
Tim has a bunch of Funkos, and all of his are in boxes still. I have 3 total, and 2 of them are in boxes, but one I got on clearance because the box was destroyed. But I have my little Chekhov Funko. His shirt just registers on my green screen, which is the only problem. But I have my little Chekhov. He sits on my desk.
Nice.
And encourages me.
Nice.
Oh, that's great. I've been starting to take pictures with it. My wife says, why don't you take pictures with him around town? We'll put you at a bus stop, looking off into the distance with him right here on your shoulder. We'll just put that on the fan page.
Oh, that's funny.
Places you go with your pop.
That's funny.
I love it.
I guess somebody sent me, says that I have an action figure out there. Lieutenant Dimitri Valtane has an action figure.
Oh,
cool.
I've made it.
There you go.
You have made it.
So I got to get him.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got to have him send it to me.
Absolutely.
Let me get one.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, so now to the quiz.
Did I have to answer any of the questions? No.
Not yet.
You have not yet.
But again, we love stories, so it's hard to interrupt you. But all right. Go ahead, Kathleen. Start us up.
Question number 1. So you, Jeremy Roberts, are one of how many actors to reprise their movie roles later in an episode of Star Trek? Is it A, 3, B, 7, or C, 5?
There's no D?
There is no D.
There's no 4?
Nope.
I think 4 is the answer, but you said 3 was in there?
We said 3.
3, 7, or 5.
And this number was...
I think 3 then, because I think it's 4. I think IMDb says that there are 4 people. Maybe I'm wrong, though, but...
There might be 4 other
5.
than you. The answer is 5.
Well, that's what I meant.
Exactly.
We knew that.
I totally knew this one.
Yeah.
It's 4 other than you.
So, yeah, according to IMDb, it's James Cromwell. Yeah. James Cromwell, Boris Lee Courtong. I'm screwing that name up.
He was the helmsman in ours.
Okay. Alice Krieg and Jack Shearer, and then, of course, yourself are the 5.
Jack Shearer. Okay.
All right.
That's a gimme.
That's a gimme, right? So you got 5. So you're 1 for 1. All right. So this question you might have to think a little bit about because I'm asking you to tag a Beatles song to the movie The Mask, which was not a normal connection. Which Beatles song describes how the mask gets by Bobby the Bouncer? Is it their song Get Back? B, With a Little Help from My Friends? Or C, Happiness is a Warm Gun?
Oh, I like C, but I'll pick B.
Correct. Yeah, the mask whips out all the money And he says, well, how about my friends are on the list? All right. So, yeah. He gets by them. He gets by the bouncer with a little.
Also, fantastic. One time we were at a hotel, and there was this long staircase, and I was sitting at the bottom as a break, and I saw him coming down the middle, and he starts singing a famous opera, Donne fa mobile, and then I started singing with him. Same. And we were doing a duet as he walks down the stairs, and people stopped to watch him. And then we laughed, and then he went on. Great guy. I love people that, aren't full of themselves.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
And
All right, question 3.
All right, question 3. How many National Lampoon Vacation movies were there before Christmas Vacation? A, 2, B, 5, or C, 3?
1, 2, 3, 3. Is that a question? Answer?
It is an
Was
answer.
3 one of them?
3 was one of them.
Take it.
The correct answer is actually 2. There were 2 before National
not the right one.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, well, you're 2 out of 3. You're doing really good.
Okay, there was the first one, and then there was the
European Vacation, and then the Christmas Vacation movie.
So it was the third, but there were 2 before it. It's all right. European Vacation is actually personally my favorite.
All right.
Okay.
Now, question 4.
After Christmas, right?
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Well,
yeah, that was okay. Question 4. The red shirts in Star Trek are famously always in danger because of what series? A, The Next Generation, B, the original series, or C, Deep Space Nine?
The original.
Very good. All right. That earns you a mug, sir. You're 3 for 4.
Go!
All right. And
Yes,
question number 5.
You'll send me information about that place, right? You'll send me information about it?
Yeah, I'll send you some links.
I always like to, I might send money to them instead of others.
That'd be awesome.
My mom.
I can put you in contact with the director of the organization if you like. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Or just the address and.
Yep. Yeah, I can get you all of that. I'll get you all that after show.
All right. And question number 5. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, was released in what year? A, 1989, B, 1995, or C, 1991?
91.
Correct. It is 30 years old this year.
That means you get the book as well. So we'll make sure that the author puts a little bit of calligraphy on the front of it for you. Make them sign it.
Undiscovered Country, unlike Kathleen,
Excellent.
is 30 this year.
There you go.
Look, this is what I got when I ended up being in it.
Oh, nice.
I had to get this because I'm in it. I couldn't. I know. I'm a huge nerd. I mean, I could not believe I'm in the Bible. And with the podcasts, and I had never done anything like this before, or Zoom or podcast or interviews. I just didn't. I was working. I retired 12 years ago, and I went back to Alabama to take care of my mother and father, who unfortunately after 5 years passed away, and we moved back to California. And I was about to start to go back into the business, and the pandemic hit. So now I don't even know if it's over yet or it isn't. I'm trying to get an agent. I'm not trying, but I'm going to get an agent and go back to work because,
awesome.
10 years of retirement was great, but I'm done.
There you go.
I had enough
You've got so much more
cheeseburgers,
acting to
and I've
do.
lost the weight. There is much more, and there's so many things on now. I mean, because there's all these extra Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, zippity-doo. Everything has a series on it. So
Agreed.
just in odds, I should be able to get work.
There you go.
I agree.
And I'll send a picture to Discovery because I think they're missing somebody on their show. Even if it's in an alien outfit, I think I need to be in one more Star Trek.
There you go.
I must
And if
count
you
this
can't
being
make
in the
it-
most Star Treks ever.
If you can't make it to Star Trek, you can make it on the Orville, and that's almost the same thing.
Actually, that'd be a lot of fun to get you on the Orville. That's with Seth
MacFarlane. Is it still
MacFarlane.
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 3 is being done on Hulu.
It's back.
Yep.
It's supposed to be coming back.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
They hit kind of a snafu with the whole world
certainly.
shutting down thing. I know. How dare this pandemic interrupt our entertainment?
Don't they know Hollywood?
Gosh. You know, Jeremy, we have enjoyed having you so much on the show. Can you please let our listeners know where they can find out more about you, your work, and you can put a plug in for whatever else you've got going on, or even just talk to the people listening with the hire me and why they should hire you.
Yeah, all we got to do is send them a picture, I'm sure. Of course, I could just go to the office and touch one of them.
There you go.
Then I'd be famous. No, they'd be famous. Dang. All right.
Just go touch a mirror.
I'm on Jeremy Roberts Official. Famous. No, don't touch them here. Yeah, no touching. No. I think I have a Jeremy Roberts Official thing. There's JeremyRoberts.com. They're working on the make and Cameo. If reason you want to call a prolific guest star with magic things I say, I don't know. Having a happy, I'm learning all about this stuff. My wife knows this much, and I know. I squish her head. I know nothing. This is amazing. She has to turn it on and get me in here. And I was trying to, get to the end of your life without learning what a smartphone is. I had a flip phone till like yesterday. So it's all new to me.
Fair enough.
I'm going to be in Hollywood, not Hollywood, but it's in Los Angeles. I'm judging a food contest in West Hills in Los Angeles to help restaurants come back from the pandemic. Awesome. They, of course, need me to eat their food.
There you go.
So I gladly go.
If eating their food makes their food pay.
That'll be on the 30th of October.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just remember to put my dad in. I'll be fine.
Jeremy, we will make sure that we put the link to your
Other
website.
than that, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. They're incredible. You guys, everybody. It's just I'm humbled the way people have talked to, and I look at it like it's work, and I don't figure them very big or anything about them. I don't really consider that, but everybody else does, and it's just amazing. It made me feel. I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not. Okay,
I'm fine.
You can do it.
I can do this.
Jeremy, thank you so much. And we will make sure that we put the link to your website in the description. And we will let people know about the fact that you can do that you will do cameos. Because why not have one of the most prolific guest stars do a cameo for your friend's birthday?
Exactly. Exactly. So we want
Chris Pine.
Yeah, exactly. Who's Chris Pine when you can have Jeremy Roberts? So, all right. So subscribing, we want to remind everybody that subscribing is the most important thing that you can do to ensure that we get more amazing guests like Jeremy Roberts here, have these amazing stories to listen to, funny moments to share, and little things to laugh and joke around about. So please subscribe. It's going to help out Funny Science Fiction Podcast more than you're ever going to know. And be sure to check out Jeremy's catalog of work. I guarantee you there's something in there that you did not know that he was a part of, because, frankly, that's how I found a lot of his stuff. But holy crap, he was in that. But you will, trust me, go to IMDb, check out Jeremy's work as well. However, I want to remind you, too, that if you're not satisfied with the content of our videos, all you have to do is submit to our complaint department, the head of our complaint department, in single form. And that, of course, is Bobby the Bouncer from the Coco Bongo. Because if he doesn't have you on the list, his friend the Mask can always move your complaint up the list with a few of his friends. Perhaps you know them: Franklin, Grant, and Jackson. So don't worry. Your complaint will be handled. Maybe.
Thanks again, Jeremy.
All right, thank you so much, Jeremy. This has been
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Fun. Yeah, this has been a ton of fun.
I had a great time.
Thank you.
Pleasure
All right,
meeting
goodbye,
you,
everybody.
Tim.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you in the movie.
Goodbye, everybody, and thanks for watching.
Yes.
Live long and prosper.
Our show is brought to you by our charity sponsor, the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund, which supports the real Wish Upon a Teen Foundation that helps out sick kids when they need it most.
And just imagine the comfort you'll give Red Shirt crewman number 6. He'll know that when he puts on the red shirt to be sent away on a mission with Lieutenant Valtane, that he didn't leave his family destitute and without hope, because the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund has his back, and what's left of his communicator. And speaking of sponsors and show partners, check out this short video from our good friends over at Level Up Lightsabers. Information about Level Up Lightsabers and their online training sessions can be found in the episode description below.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FunnySci-Fi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Copyright 2020 by Drayton Allen. Original music by Jordan Michaels. Reference to any specific product or entity mentioned in this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation of or by Funny Science Fiction or its sponsors. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at DraytonAllen@DraytonAllen.com.